Howdy. So I'm here with a reminder because some of you are the same as me. You were that sheep that was born into a family of wolves. And they all knew exactly what you were. And I don't know if you recall the same as I do. Growing up, you were always seeking approval from brothers, sisters, parents, teachers, people that would just continue to invalidate you. And as time went on, your heart broke. You cried. Kept meeting people that just really had no um, positive interest in your life. It was more so they saw you as, oh, that's something I can feed off of. And coming from a line of people that really aren't people at all, they're more so empty inside. They hate their lives. They feel they were dealt a rotten hand, even though they chose it. They chose their life. They chose to have sex at an early age and end up getting pregnant before they graduated high school. They chose to continue to have children. They chose to not invest into empowering themselves. Instead, it was easier to fight with their family members or place blame unjustly on other people that weren't even affecting them in a negative manner. And this has been my entire life. This is the story of my life of, man, how could you? And at some point I stopped saying how could you. Instead, I had to realize you did. Now that I realize you did, you know what? You can't. You can't anymore. I'm not asking you for approval anymore. I'm not asking you to validate me. I'm not asking you to allow me to smile. I'm not going to hold in a chuckle because the room gets uncomfortable at some joke that's a little bit darker than what they're used to. And if people actually do kind of shift in situations like that, it's because you're actually calling them out. You're presenting in a methodical way of, I see you. I see your darkness. I see your hatred. I see everything about you that's tried to get me to conform, not to become like you, because I myself can't be like you. I can't be fake. I can't be gossipy and hurtful behind other people's backs. I can't use and manipulate. I mean, obviously I could just like anybody else, but some of us seem to focus more on a soul path, growing spiritually, healing, moving forward. Everybody I'm talking about that says you can't be like me and you're not fighting to prove you are, those are karmics. Those are people that are meant to keep poking at you until you get stronger. And when you get stronger is when you walk away. And when you walk away is when they're like, wait, I wasn't done. I didn't ask you. And I don't need your permission, nor will I apologize. Because thanks to you, I now remember my worth. I now remember you're beneath me, and that's why you're trying so hard to dominate me and get on top of me. And you know what? Not today. Not anymore, as a matter of fact. I will no longer seek your approval, and I will no longer excuse your behavior because it just continues to keep going. It's that cycle of delusional love. I'll call it that, because a lot of this comes from what my family has allowed me to realize, what they're capable of. All the times that I was in need, all those times that I was falling apart, all those times that I was on the verge of just, I can't take anymore. Nobody was there. Nobody cared. But then when my life gets better and I have good news and great things are happening and I get to relax and enjoy a moment of fresh air, now they're wanting to be up my ass. No, you don't get to come in when the glory is here. You don't get to turn your back on the struggle that you helped to create. Because the mindset, the mentality came from when I was young, from when I was a child. It came from those that continue to initiate the behavior and try to get me to cower down. They started it. They were the ones that said, go apologize to your sister. I know you're not wrong, but be the bigger person. And I had to ask the other day, I was taught turn the other cheek, but at what point are you so bruised up that you just turn the other cheek? You can have it. And when I give you that, I'm done. And at some point, we all have to get to that position of realizing our worth, and that our worth doesn't change because they don't value us. And at the same time, just because they think they're worth more doesn't mean you're worth less. You have to put yourself in the hands of a greater authority to say, are they justified in their actions? Is it okay for them to exclude me and then still act like we're family? Oh, I didn't know. You knew all along. That's the game. That's the charade. That's what happens when you're the sheep born into the wolves. You're the target from day one. Don't apologize for it anymore. If anything, you've learned their tricks. You've learned everything they're willing to do to you. It doesn't mean stoop to their level. It just means no longer allow that to affect how you feel about yourself. Don't let that be the thing that makes you where you don't want to get out of bed anymore. Don't let that be the thing that makes you judge yourself harshly because, but I want to succeed. I want to be happy. I deserve. You don't have to beg and plead with yourself in regards to what you think you deserve. Know what you deserve. And everything that you deserve is everything they refuse to give you. They didn't acknowledge you. So what? Only you can acknowledge yourself. And often those behaviors are the things that send you to go to a higher power and say, please give me the strength. Please give me the guidance I need to help me traverse this tumultuous situation because I'm not deserving of this. I look at their actions. I see their false rewards. I'm not begging for those rewards. I'm asking for a way out. I'm asking to no longer be the victim in their story. But you can pray all day long, and without making that change, nothing's ever going to change. At some point, you have to tell yourself, I'm validated in speaking back. I don't have to yell at you, nor do I have to even acknowledge that you're around anymore. Because you know what? You didn't acknowledge me when I was dying in the street. So now that it comes down to it, don't come over here and ask me to not acknowledge your life while you're struggling and sick because karma is nyam, 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 nyam at you. You did it. You made the choice. You not only threw me to the wolves, you knew your whole family was full of them and you didn't protect me. Which tells me you became exactly what they were. You have no concept of protecting genuine love. No, on the contrary, you want to empower that fake love, the manipulative love, the hurtful love, the thing that says, that doesn't matter. Yeah, they were hurt early in life, so were you. I had to tell somebody the other day, we were all born into trauma. We were all born into toxicity. This is not something that is, real picky and not everybody's going to experience. No, it's more of a matter of how are you going to treat the world once you've experienced it? Especially when you know that you have certain individuals that you need to protect because you can see the injustice in the actions of the ones that are excused. There's a lot. It goes very deep. And the more you can turn to yourself and seek the truth in the matter of what you've been surrounded with. And like I said, the hardest part is when you realize it's family. But I'll tell you, family is not blood. And I was always raised, family is blood. Though that brainwashed delusion to the wayside. Because the ones that use that are the ones that will abuse you the most. The ones that will demand that you ask for forgiveness for their behavior. Be better than that. Owe yourself more than that. Because at this point in life, you can either turn the mirror around and let them look at themselves, which means you have to mirror them, but that means you have to change your vibration. Or you can choose to be like, we're good here. We're done. Lesson learned. Thank you for being my teacher. But you know what? I see that I no longer need your services because you've shown me every dark recess and alley of your mind and what you're truly capable of. And for the fact that I have to keep forgiving and forgiving and forgiving just means that I need to forget you. So hopefully that helps somebody. It's something I've needed to hear for myself for a really long time. It does not make you selfish, evil, angry, anything negative to stand up for yourself, especially when you're in a pack of wolves and they just want to continue to gnaw on you and give you nothing but pain. Respect yourself more than that. Love yourself more than that. Give yourself the chance to have life. Peace, love, and light. Bye.